For those of you that I don't know yet, I see some familiar names, so hopefully I'll get to know you soon. But we have two amazing people here tonight. We have Holly Barker and Erin Anderson, and they are two top recruiters in Montana. And we are so excited y'all are here. So we want to hear some amazing tidbits that y'all have for us for how y'all work your business day to day, and how you recruit so many, and how you keep your PV. For those of y'all who do not know their incredible PV, it's over 2,000 every month. So that's phenomenal, with adding in new recruits along with that. So I'm going to hand it over to them because they've already gotten some of our questions, but they will answer in the end. If there's any y'all want to put in the chat box, we'll answer them in the end.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. We're going to kind of fly through this because there's a lot to cover, but that way we can still answer questions at the end. So if you've got questions, type them and we'll get to them. We want to start off with mindset because it's such a huge part of this whole production. Basically, you really need to have a mindset of how can I do this, and this is a possibility. My big one is, and I say it a lot, is blinders on, head down, and you just go, go, go. Another thing that was really huge for me is that when I decided to work this business, which was almost a year ago, I made an effort to follow instruction. I was like, put your ego on the side, do what they tell you to do, and you'll make money. Like it's not that hard to get your head around that. Like these women are super successful. They're making money. Do what they're telling you to do, duplicate it, and you'll get to where they are too. So that's a huge part of it. It was just like, this is possible. These people are doing it. Put your ego aside and go, go, go.
And yes, like what Erin says, I say it all the time. Like it is mindset. It's how can I do this? You can't. When I look back at it, I just like, this is my 1 year Plexus anniversary. I joined April 30th of last year. And yeah, you have to be coachable. I mean, I remember in the beginning, like there were some things about direct sales that I didn't like, but I used that into my advantage. So when it came to sharing on Facebook, when it came to talking about what we're doing, it's like I kind of knew that Plexus was different because I made money right away. I mean, like when people say, what's the scam? I'm like, I haven't found one yet. I've been here for a year. So it's the consistency of sharing what you're doing. It's the mindset. It's the confidence. For me, it was, I was kind of like almost ashamed that I was taking supplements and people were asking me what I was doing for my weight loss. And I was honest with them. I'm like, I started for my skin. I saw reduced inflammation. So you share a little bit about why you started and how you did, or why you did it, and then you stop right there and you ask what triggered their curiosity. Like, well, what was it about it that, tell me about you, tell me about your day. You want to always go back into asking what they need from you, because at the end of the day, direct sales have a bad rap about just, like people, which it is a numbers game. Like that's how you recruit people. If you reach out to more people, like one's going to stick, two's going to stick. But it's the way that you present the information. It's how you care about what you're doing. And, you're not separating anything from your life. And I feel like I know a lot of people will create their own Plexus group and invite maybe 1/3 of their Facebook friends. Like, I don't want to bug them on my personal wall. I'm like, this business is personal. Like we are products of the product. We share what we do. We share where we eat, where we shop, what commercials we like. I mean, like there's an aspect of our life about sharing, and that leads into your storytelling. So it's all a mindset of how I can do this, how I can share it, which it fits with me. And if you have questions, people above us have already done the legwork. Like don't reinvent the wheel. Just really focus on, doing your little circle, your little network, and then like growing your network. And like, it all works out. And consistency, when you do add 3 people a month, after a year, like that's how you grow a strong team. And it's just,
sorry, we're moving on.
She's keeping a timer.
I kind of am.
Yeah.
Goal setting, because that is really what this is all about. The Consistency Club is a huge, like, they're building a goal in there for you guys to hit every month if you want to. And if you can go silver every month, you're going to get that 700 consistency at the end of the year. It's key. But for goal setting, if you're just having it out there in the world somewhere, it's not really going to get you anywhere. You really need to set a goal, write it down, tell someone about it so that you're accountable, tell your shareholders. I always tell my husband, this is what I'm working on. So don't think I'm busy, that I'm always on my phone. I'm really just working towards this right now. So therefore he can like understand where I'm coming from and also kind of root me on. And once you knock that goal out, you set a bigger one. And you do the steps again. You tell your partner, you tell your running partner, whoever you are. Like if you have a Plexus partner that you guys keep, an accountability partner, is that what you guys call it? You keep each other accountable. It's a duplication again. You just make it bigger. Like my first goal was to get silver, and then to get gold, and then it was to hit the 700 consistency, and it was black tie gala, and then it was I want to win all the prizes, and I got all those. So my next goal is to get senior gold, and I'm writing it down, and I'm taking the steps that it's going to take to get there. Goal setting.
Yes, I'm kind of bad at goal setting because I don't write them down. I will be the first one to say that, but I attach my goals to feelings, and I think that's something that gets kind of overshot a little bit. Like, what makes me nervous is like about earning $2,000, but for me, the feeling of accomplishing that is way more important than posting that I won the top of the convention. So for me, I'm attaching the feeling of carrying that big check home with me in the airport. To that person to do that. So like you just have to lead into like where they are in their business, where they are taking their products, you know, like how consistent are they on taking their products is like where it's going to lead into. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So I sure did not lose 50 pounds in 2 years, but consistency, you put consistency into it, just like what Plexus already implements through the business into the products. You know, they're kind of giving us this golden platter to kind of walk around and share with people and have the confidence that we're doing something right. So that is where it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. People know that I'm not going anywhere, and they will come to you when you're reaching out to them as well. So where's number 4?
Okay.
Actual prospecting.
Should we do that for that? I want to talk about patience. Don't worry, we are going to get into like how we did all this, how we got the PV, but first I'm kind of giving you the mindset of how we got to that. You have to be patient with your customers, with your teammates, with your wholesale people, with your, preferred customers, and with your potentials. There are people that do this, that hear about the products and jump in 5 minutes and sign up. And there are people that will take a year or 2. And you really need to not only like be patient to their faces, but just like let it wash over you. This is, Holly said it, not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is a long game. You have to be no pressure. This isn't salesy. This is relationship building. You know they need the products. They're going to get them eventually. Just chill out. They will come to you, I promise. Like, keep following up and keep caring about them and keep pouring into them. But I have women that every time I see them are like, oh my God, I was supposed to see you last week and I was supposed to call you and all that. And if I were like, yeah, you were, they probably wouldn't keep talking to me. You just have to like realize that they're going to come to you. Like, this company isn't going anywhere but up. And eventually these people that need these products are going to circle back to you. As long as like they have a good relationship with you, they're gonna circle back. And you also have to think about this. This is a big one for us in this town because we're running a team together and we're all 3 different levels. I'm Polly's level 1, but she's Carrie's level 1. And we're all in the same team running a team together. So you do have to really keep in mind the 1 plexus. There might be someone that you reach out to 10 times and they sign up with someone else. It's not a big deal. Like it is like, this is for the benefit of like of everyone, of the health that you've been looking out for, which is why you've been reaching out to this person. So be patient with your people. Sorry, do you want to do that one?
Yes. So another question is like how we message people on Facebook. And this is something where, you know, you can spin your wheels about this all day long. So this is where you actually have to be intentional. So what I did is I printed off my friends list on Facebook, and I will sit down and I will write down names in my planner. And like some names, like I don't like, sometimes it's really, really hard to pick up my phone and call someone or text somebody. And like, but the real pain is like letting that person go to someone that's also sharing about the business. You know, like it's not like this hungry race, but if you truly think that you can help them, like you have to have that mindset of picking up your phone, sending out the 30-second message. It's not going to kill you. It's not, you know, and you just don't know. Like I almost have this sense of guilt when I don't share about it. Like, or if I find out somebody else is sick or suffers from somebody, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wrote their name down 3 weeks ago and I didn't have the courage to reach out to them. And now they're posting about allergies. Like, holy gosh, you know, like you have to, once your umbrella gets bigger, which all of our friends are on Facebook, if you're continually adding new friends on Facebook and growing your audience, social media is a big part about our business. Don't take it lightly. You have to use your tools, just like what the products do for us, like social media is doing it for your business. So sending the magic message, it does work. It sounds cheesy. And this is something where I fought. I was like, I don't like cold messaging. Like, I don't like doing it. Putting the ego aside and being coachable and learning that there's a system that will work, because once you start asking people like, hey, I'm sure you've seen some of my Facebook messages or my messages from 4 months ago or some of my posts, like, has anything triggered your curiosity of what I'm doing? Like, may I send you some information? Like, you know, like you can send that cold message, but there's some people that you shouldn't. And so like, there's like the reconnecting, it's knowing your prospects, it's knowing who they are. So like go through their Facebook page. If they haven't posted for a little while, jump on Instagram, see if they're more active on Instagram, start commenting there too. Like you can interact on both social medias, because you're going to have people on different ends that you're like, I don't use Snapchat anymore. I'm on Marco Polo. And so you just use your social media tools to communicate with people, and sending those messages can seem scary. But, you know, like my biggest thing right now is going back to the people that I first started talking to and go like, I really apologize, because that message was like, you know, like it, you know, like I didn't know what I was doing, but you kind of can admit your error and fix your mistake and reach out to them. That's, you know, it's making it personal.
Yeah.
Like you have to make it personal. And it's something like where I'm kind of like, I like to be outgoing, but I'm also very selective of who I have strong relationships with. And like, I had to get over that too. Like I have to build relationships. Like you have to have someone go like, oh yeah, you know, like my friend Holly's been posting about da 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 da, and my grandma. Like someone might not even need the products for themselves, and then they will think of somebody else in their life that might need it based on what you're sharing, and they will reach out to you. So that is just being personal about what you're sharing and how you're sharing, and you know, you just have to get face to face with them. Like, I just signed an ambassador 15 minutes ago before I came onto this call. I said, I have a half an hour, stop by after work. Like, I'm sorry, I told her, I was like, I never do this, but like, we're just going to sign you up. I'm going to send you out the door some pink drinks. I'm going to call you tomorrow. But once they know that your time is important, they're not going to waste it for you. You don't want to waste their time either. I mean, we all have a gazillion things to do, but once you get that face-to-face time, like invite them for coffee, invite them for a beer, like see if they want to go for a walk. You know, like one-on-one time is amazing. And if you can utilize it, then do it. And if you can't because you're too busy, you know, that's something that I can't, like I don't have a husband, I don't have kids, like I'm in a different life right now at 32 than a lot of people that I'm looking up to though, but I'm also using that part of my why. Like I don't want to have to work when I raise a family. Like I don't want to have to stress that. So it's something where you're personal. Like I share all examples of who I'm talking to about this, but the more people that you talk to, you know, like you don't know that you're talking to enough people until you're talking to enough people. Yeah. So, and that's where you have to plan your time. And it is your 15 minutes. Here and there, it's your nooks and cranny that, you know, we're not telling you anything new. Like we're just explaining that when you put two people together, like Erin and I, like we really can set our goals and accomplish them, use stuff, the magic message and what your uplines are telling you to do, you know, the engagement posts, reach out. The 531 is a real thing. And it's a real thing.
As far as that goes, like, because I try to be more personal, there is, you know, the magic message that will copy and paste to a bunch of people. My schedule is weird. I'm a bartender. I work two nights in a row until 3 a.m, and then I have a day off, and then I work a day shift. So, and that's seemingly not very much, but they're 10-hour shifts, and it's a lot of work. And then I have a toddler. So me getting up early, like everyone's like, get up an hour earlier. I don't do that. I do stay up late. So I will put the baby down for a nap and do a couple hours of work, or when I put the baby to sleep, I'll do a couple hours of work. I will do most of my cold messaging at night, knowing that no one else is really up. But I know when I wake up in the morning, if I send 20, maybe 50, depending on how eager I am, cold messages to people that I've been talking to, mind you. This isn't just out of the blue. I haven't seen this person in 10 years, and I'm going to send them a cold message that's like, have you seen my stuff? Because they haven't, because they're not even showing up on my feed. Like, you have to be intentional and realistic about who you're texting. But I will wake up in the morning, and then I will answer those texts in the morning. Has this piqued your interest? Yes, I just don't really know. I have a thyroid thing and blah, 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 blah. So then you follow up with them. That being said, another trick that when I am really short on time, but I know I need to get some new blood, I go on my phone and I see who's active. And I send the magic message to the people that it's relevant to, that are active, because they're online right now. And I know that they're there, and I know they're going to see my message. I don't send it to like an active person who I haven't seen since college, but I send it to someone who I have been like, who is showing up on my feed, who I do have a relationship with. Those are the people. And it may not be the magic message. It may be a one-off. It may be like, hey, I remember that you said you had issues with like inflammation. We were talking last week and you said that. Do you want to talk sometime? I know that they're going to see that message. So that's a really good one, is when they're online, hit them up. It's also a new way to refresh your feed, because it's showing you who's online right then, and it might not be people that you have talked to. So if you start messaging them, it is going to show up in your feed the next day, and then you're kind of like stirring the pot a little bit. Ashley had asked us to talk about how many we recruited for April. And so I'm going to back up a little bit on that. I set a goal for the 700 Consistency Club once I realized about 3 months ago that it was doable. And I got it, yay. I got it last month, actually, but I got it again this month, because it's not that hard. It's silver. It's going silver every month. It's getting 3 ambassadors and 3 new customers, which, come on. We should be able to do this. Sometimes it's hard for people. I get that, but like, I promise that if you do what your uplines are telling you to do, and what the people that are killing it in this business are doing, you will get there. I set 4 ambassadors in April. Me too. 3 of them were brand new. 1 of them was from a year ago. Yeah. But 3 of them were new, and of the 3, they came to me, which is huge. they didn't come to me because they saw me walking down the street and were like, do you maybe sell Plexus? They came to me because they've seen my posts and they've seen what we're doing, and we've been talking about it, and we've been not shameful about talking about it. And I mean, 2 of them bought for their husbands, and 1 of them bought for herself. Actually, 2 of them bought for herself. The one that was from last year, the only reason she waited so long is because she didn't really want to start the triplex until she was done nursing. And now she is done. Yay. I did get 5 new customers, and 1 of them was old. 1 of them I think was from a year ago. And the other 5 came to me. 3 of them were guys. 3 of them were guys. And when they reach out to you, like I am at a bar and there are men there and women there, but the men are kind of bashful at first, but eventually, because they've seen my posts, they'll be like, I really want to talk to you about that stuff sometime. And I'll be like, okay, cool. And then the next morning, and I have a Post-it by my phone, which is by the register, and I write down their name and I put it in my pill box, my Plexus pill box. And then in the morning when I get up, I open that and see all the people that I've talked to about that night, and I follow up with them the next day. And then we make a meeting for coffee or a cocktail in the afternoon or lunch, or now that it's summer again, we'll be sitting on the porch. Like, face-to-face closing is huge. I have my computer, this computer that we're on right now. I bring it, I open it up, I go to the Plexus page, and then we start talking. And by the end of it, we're signed up. There's not really an option when you're going to a meeting. You go with the always be closing. Go Glenn, Gary, Glenn Ross. Always be closing mindset, because that's what we're doing. Like, granted, of course, if they're like, no, I'm not ready, then you're like, okay, that's fine. You shut the computer, you have a normal conversation with them, and then you follow up forever until they sign up. So
follow up forever. So
yeah, I mean, forever.
You follow up forever?
Forever. Prospecting. For prospecting,
I don't like that word. I don't.
Reaching out to new people. Holly talked about how she printed a Facebook friend list out, and so did I. And I have 1,100 friends, and I haven't reached out to a lot of them in a long time. So I downloaded it to Excel, sorted it just alphabetically, so it's not just by date. And then I made columns of like first, second, third. And I don't mean first contact. I mean first time going onto their page and writing something on their comments. And going maybe 10 a time. I'll go 10 a time, and then the next time 10, and I'll go through that, and then I'll stay followed up. So it's kind of like and it has changed my friend feed immensely. And it's just, like I said, it's like getting the muck, stirring everything up, and you've got a whole new group of people. So there's that. And once I know they've seen my pages because they've commented on my stuff, then I'll send them the magic message or something like that makes sense based on their circumstances. If I see them in person after I've messaged them a couple times and they haven't responded, if they're local and I see them in person, I'll slip them a pink drink over the bar and be like, let's talk.
Yeah.
And then they take the pink drink the next day. So then I'll follow up. Did you like it? And then they did like it. And then they're responding to you. Mm-hmm. And then you sit down. And
samples are huge.
Samples are huge.
So for me, so I kind of got lazy with sending my samples because I would just go into the back office, enter their address, and send them like a 3-day sample of pink drink in the block. But so I did that for a couple of months. But in the beginning, I would send them a thank you card and 2 pink drinks, and I printed off like how to take the triplex like on a little piece of paper. Like those are in your share, in the Facebook groups, the little chart. So I'd send them that. So here's a pink drink. This is kind of like how you start the products. So when you send them a thank you note, handwritten, everybody likes mail that's a bill. You know what I mean? So for me, when I just sent them something from Plexus because it was easy and it was convenient for me, those people really haven't, there's still seeds that are planted. Those are still seeds of mine. I'm not, plant your seeds, right? But the ones that did either join as an ambassador for wholesale, they may not buy every month or work the business, but they did say yes because they're like, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me. That's the whole thing. When you're, they say to go after the no's. And to me, when someone says no to me, it just rolls off my back. It's okay, cool. No big deal. I can keep my momentum going because you'll get 2 or 3 people. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for thinking of me. And like, you would say the same thing when someone reaches out to you about Plexus. There's all of us sharing about it. And when someone contacts you, you say, thank you. You say, thank you for thinking of me. And this is big. These are people's health journeys. Like, they're going to doctors, they're on medication. Like, I just started for my skin, no big deal, right? And then once you start learning about what we can help with, you're like, you know, like, you're almost like baffled of like how well we can help people. So that's something, like, if you send a sample, please send a thank you note, the chart of how to take the product, and information. I have my business card that I throw in there. Like, you're not sending them a link, you're sending something, like, you're giving them a feeling. Like, I get a birthday card every year from my grandma with $10 in it. You know, $10 is not a big deal if Erin gives it to me. You know, it's a big deal because it comes from my grandma. So like, you kind of want the grandma feeling. You want to give something. You want to give the feeling of what we're doing. And that's like, you know, you just attach your goals to your feelings, and you prospect with your feelings and your gut instinct. And if you see someone posting about them suffering, like, they're asking engagement for something that's negative. Like, it's not negative that they have allergies or joint pain. Like, they're expressing that, you know, they want to talk about their depression or in their anxiety, and you have tools that can help them. And once your umbrella gets bigger, that's your responsibility. And that's a feeling that I like. Yeah. So that takes over any no at any point, because ultimately the people that have said no to me will come. I have so many people that first told me no that are now my customers and not my ambassadors. Like, 100%. No is not a no until they block you. Or there's actually, or if you have a court order not to contact them.
We don't need to talk about that. In reality, though, the prospecting thing, I think it's pretty easy for people to say, like, they're in Montana, there's no one else doing it, and that is there's some validity in that for sure. That being said, I think that you have to come from a place of abundance regardless of where you're selling. Yes, there aren't a ton of people on Plexus out here yet, and there are, you know, to the west of us in Seattle and down in like California, there still aren't that many people talking about it either. So we're lucky that we have a lot of people that haven't heard of it. If we lived in Augusta, it would be a little bit different. That being said, you just really have to come from a place of abundance, which is something that I've learned from a couple of trainings that I've done. I did Klimmer and Associates a couple times. I didn't even do it for network marketing. I did it for like relationship help. And one of the biggest things is the scarcity, you know, viewpoint. You just are going to breed negativity and you're going to get stuck. You have to always just be thinking outside the box and be thinking bigger than your little inner circle, and it will come. We do live in a community that is relatively expensive to live in, and yet does not pay very much for jobs. Hi, my baby just came downstairs. And so there are a lot of women in this valley that have taken the network marketing thing by storm. We have, I think is she called a Black Leader? What is it called?
She has 8,000 people in her organization. So now that we have an opportunity we have to sell the business now, and we're in competition of selling opportunity. Women sell. But they're driving their vehicles, they're in the top of their ranks. These women reached out to us years ago and we said no. So we said no to them. One of them is highly successful with makeup, and she has 8,000 people in her organization. And she looks to us and goes, I really like what you guys are doing with support. But when you think of abundance, like, it's not true, because like, there's so many women here in our community that are in the top ranks of companies, and they're kind of scared. You know, they're like, oh, you know, like, we have the fire. Me, Erin, Carrie, you know, like, so like, you do expand. Like, so when you find someone that's on your team that's working hard, you try to keep them, But if you're someone like Erin and I that have high PV, and then some of our it really is like I haven't finished it yet. Like maybe I'll pick up a chapter here and there. What I've learned from it so far is the half rule. So like if I'm putting up 3,000 in PV every month, like I would maybe expect my team to do half the work that I'm putting in. So like that's when you would find people that are more eager to work harder at something like this. You find out what your team's why is, like, and you make it a part of yours too. So at the end of the day, like I know that, you know, Erin, her goal is her family, and you know, you just have to know your goals of your team. You have to prospect with that in mind as well. You send, if someone, like if you send a message and it's like, oh yeah, Erin talked to me about that, you encourage them to go to Erin and talk, and you funnel them back to the first person they discussed it with. And like, that's going to show integrity to our company. That's the one plexus.
Totally.
And, you know, like, it just helps. Like if I'm reaching out to the same person, I didn't know Erin reached out to them in our small little town, but we only have known each other for 4 years. We're former roommates. Like we moved in together 4 years ago, like this weekend. So we've known each other for 4 years. Like she got married, had a baby, moved out. You know, like we have our story. Well,
I also wanted
to, yes.
I'm sorry.
You get it. You get it. That's all good.
I do want to talk about how our PD is so high, because part of that does come from the fact that we are, you know, kind of an empty slate up here. We've got all these people that don't have products, haven't bought products, don't know about the products. That's part of it, to be fair. But the way that I've always learned to sell, which was from retail, a retail background a little bit, is that you can't let somebody walk out the door with like a pair of socks. You really have to sell multiple products to people. Obviously, Plexus puts things in combos that are easy, like the triplex. But if someone, when I sit down with someone, I ask them, like, how is your schedule? We have this is a railroad town. We were based off of like a stop for the railroad workers. So these guys and women are like on a train half across the state for 3 days and then back, and they're really unsettled, and they're not at an office desk, and they all really need the products. But I know that they're not going to take pills 3 times a day. And so I don't want to sell somebody something that they're not going to take. This goes back to like being, you know, genuine and not salesy. I will sit down and ask them, what's your schedule? How do you feel about 3 times a day? Do you think you could do it? Do you think you could do it for 3 months? And if they say no, or they make a little face, then you go, okay, that is fine. Let's back up and we'll see what you can do. What will you do? And I've kind of come up with a new program for dudes that just want a 1-a-day situation. We just do the Vital Biome and the pink drink. They take the Vital Biome first thing in the morning. They take the pink drink whenever they want. It's a lot easier for them to get their head around. Once they get their head around that for a month or two, and that's going to get you over, you know, over the 100. Like that's great, because they're probably buying retail or preferred. You're certainly not signing them up as wholesale for that kind of a person. So that's the PV part. So you're getting them that. Once they get used to that, we all know that they're on the Vital Biome for a month and they're actually taking it every day, because you're following up once a week for at least the first month to see how they're doing, see how they're feeling, see if they need to make any adjustments. Just a quick tip. Sometimes if they're just taking the Vital Biome and the pink drink, they can get kind of gassy. And so I will offer them like 10 of the BioCleanse, like just to take, if they're gassy, take these 2 at night, whatever. Then obviously the next month, maybe we should just buy a bottle of that, and maybe we should throw in one of the multivitamins like the X Factor or the Mega X if you need that because you're an old dude that has heart issues. Like think about who you're talking to, but you can't let anybody get out the door with one thing. You really do have to at least get them. It's like, I used to be like, well, obviously if you're treating somebody with any kind of inflammation or leaky gut, it's triplex and is the answer to what you should be selling them. But if they can't do that and you have to back it up, then it's the pink drink, and because that's the most expensive thing that we have. And if they have that and one of the vitamins, then they're over the top. You also need to explain to them that the pink drink is not a gimmicky, fruity, girly drink. It is, 8 different things in one product that's so good for you for so many reasons. And once they realize that it's not something that they have, like, I didn't really like it, so I gave it away. Like, no. It's a prebiotic. It's a blood sugar leveler. It's energy. It's all these different things. Just, you have to take that, and then you could take the other things. So combining things, not letting them get out the door with less than maybe 2 things, hopefully 3 or 4. Another thing that we have learned, and I think we really learned this from Christy, is kind of like upcycling people. Like, you get your retail customers, they order retail the first month, they love it, so you move them to preferred. And then if you've got a preferred that's there and steady and they're sticking with it, and you need an ambassador that month because you didn't get your 3, then you bump those people up. So your PV needs to be filled with someone new, so you get a new person. So it's just kind of like getting people, yeah, it's just like going up. The big thing for retention, though, and that is huge, and believe me, we all have people that fall off, so don't be bummed out if people fall off. It's just, you can lead a horse to water, but following up once a week at least the first 4 weeks, if not like the first 6, and then after that once a month, and then just being conversational with them. Don't only talk about Plexus with these people. Follow up. Be the friend that you were when you sold them the Plexus. Don't just talk about Plexus all the time. That's why my PV is so high. Yeah. So high.
Well, my situation is a little different, and I will give credit to this, but I'm also going to bring it back to myself, though. I worked for a private golf course for 14 years, and it was always really super frowned upon to share about a direct sales company, because you don't want it to be a conflict of interest, or you just don't want to step on anyone's golf shoes per se, right? So, but for me, that's what it was. I had 2 of my ladies ask me, and one day what I was doing for weight loss, and that's when my mindset changed. It was like, I had to switch of like, I can't do this to how can I work Iron Horse and share and be appropriate. So I went to my general manager. I told him what I was doing. He also takes a triplex, so he's one of my customers now. So it helps that, that's going to your shareholders. Like, he's a shareholder of mine. He's my general manager. So if you're worried about work and having that be an objection for some of your working teams, be like, just be honest with them. Tell them what they're doing and why you're doing it. So if you can get over that courage, you're learning to talk to people, and practice makes perfect. You have to kind of tell everybody. But for me, I do work for people that have pretty much no budget. So they will do whatever I tell them to do. But for me, I have to be really careful of how to get them through the detox, because it is word of mouth. I don't want someone to take the products incorrectly and then tell everybody that they, had issues or cramps or headaches, because we all know those are detox symptoms that they will get through if they just communicate about that. So I'm always honest with people of like, why I have high PV is because I do work for rich ladies. But with that said, they have my trust. I dog sit for them. I wear a lot of hats for them. So what that is I'm a network for questions. So that's your network, you use it to your advantage. So when you have someone that's like, hey, Holly, where do I go for lunch? Or where do I get a pedicure? Where do I, my dog's sick. Like, what vet do you use? Like, when you realize that you're like this little mecca, this little center of questions, or those are also people to think about. Like, if you know that your girlfriend from high school is, a consultant or a manager, or like, these busy people are the ones that get stuff done. So you want people that can get stuff done. And that's why I have hundreds of people that will ask me to take their car to the airport, and I don't say no. Like, don't say no to people that invite you to a baby shower. Like, put it down. Like, okay, I really want to go to this baby shower because I don't know who's going to be there. Like, you can meet somebody new instead of saying I don't know anybody there and having that be a negative. Be like, I don't know anybody there. That's true. Cool. It was, and when you can kind of like get that momentum of, like, I'm not out there like being something like, hey, you want to buy some pink drink? Like, you really just meet them and like, oh yeah, like, you take advantage of the first impression is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that last summer when we were just getting started, I tried to I kind of had an epiphany, and then Carrie and Holly and I all talked about it, was like, we need to be visibly out in public doing fun stuff and looking like we're super happy. We need to have people like notice the shift that we have just had in our lives and ask us why. And so that we made, Montana Plexus t-shirts, and we went out and like not did weird stuff, but like we just were clearly out in public getting noticed for something that was different about them. And that was huge. That's really kind of it. If we want to open it up to questions, I know we probably only have 10 minutes left. If there are any questions, the other thing that I really want to say, and I know we always say this, is the nooks and crannies. I do it at night instead of in the morning, but you can do it in the morning if you have time. I do it in my dinner break at work. Sometimes on my day shift, I'll stay after work for like half an hour so I can just get a little bit of work done before I go home to baby. And I've kind of given up some of the TV. Most of the TV. Mostly all the TV is given up. I love TV. I grew up without one. I'm kind of a TV addict. Literally didn't have a television until I was 15 years old. And so now I'm just like, oh, Scandal. This is amazing. Anyway, giving a lot of that up because I'm hitting these goals. And I give myself a little prize. I hit a goal, and maybe I'll binge watch for a little bit. So questions, anybody? Right? Yeah? Anyone?
Okay, Christy says, what's the magic message y'all are using?
Hi, Susie. I hope you're well. I'm just wondering if you've seen any of my Plexus posts. Has any of it piqued your interest? That's it.
There you go.
That's it. And
to your people that you have been communicating with or commenting on their pages.
Right. I'm not going to send that to someone who I haven't talked to since 1997 or 2007, whenever the Facebook started. It has to be genuine. But I will, once I've commented on a couple of their posts that I have, if I go through my Facebook friends list and I commented on a couple of their posts, and now we are seeing each other's feeds, and I know they have seen it, then I will say that. But it has to be realistic. You can't just be like, because then they're like, spam, no.
Yeah. And that's, like understanding that Facebook doesn't want spam, and, you have to do your 5-word comments. Don't just use like, oh, looks great, so yummy.
Right.
Be like, oh my gosh, you're making lasagna tonight? We had tacos, like make it a conversation, and you engage with them in a way that you want people to engage with you. Like, I can smell phony from a mile away.
We all can, I think.
And it's something that like people will pick up on it. But if they know that you're an introverted person and you be like, hey, I'm not really sharing this on Facebook yet, but here's what I'm seeing, and I thought of you. Like, if you can be honest with them too. Be like, I'm not really big on social media and sharing and posting about this, but this probiotic and this multivitamin is really helping me with my sinuses, and I thought of you. Like, you can lead it with,
yeah, I thought of you is huge.
Yeah, I thought of you. Like, you're putting it back on their plate, that you're showing, actually you should be caring about these people. There's your friends and family. Like, there's no, like, the best people that I've met is from people that are wanting to change their health or their temperament, or they've seen a change me and be like, holy cow, like they're intrigued by it. So that's being a product of the product. It's, like whatever. But I know a lot of it is plugging into these videos. Get on Zoom calls. So in the book, Get Over Your Damn Self, you prospect 80% of your time. So you find out how much time you can commit to your business. You prospect 8% of it. You plug into 10% of your working team. I don't need to call her every day and like, how is everything going in your back office? Like, I did my work with her. I kick her out the door, like, go, go, go. Like, so you have to understand that spending time with other people is going to, like, that's training them. Like, the people, your friends that you spending your time with, people like, oh my gosh, can you excuse me? I have to go make this call real quick. Like, this lady's been getting with me about wanting to talk about the triplex. So your friends are seeing you work your business in your day-to-day life. They realize it's not that hard. I'm not a complete a-hole when I'm telling my friend at lunch or right now that I have to step outside. Like, I'm being polite, I'm stepping outside. Like, so you just find a way to actually like show them how you're working your business during your day. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
I also, you know, when I do have spare time, or if I'm cooking, or if I'm on a treadmill or whatever, I will listen to some trainings. I love Brooke Hemingway. I love, love, love her because she's just so matter of fact and direct. We both are in Rank Makers on Facebook, which is the Ray Higdon group, and it costs money, but every time I listen to a training from him, it is like, I will take away probably 5 things, if not more. And he is also pretty direct and pretty awesome. So Rank Makers is good. I just started following Rachel Hollis, which is crazy because I went to college with her husband. He dated my best friend. We went to like a bunch of sorority and fraternity parties together. Like, and now he's married to this like amazing lady. So I will be getting in touch with him. Don't kid yourself. But Rachel Hollis is pretty awesome just for like motivational stuff. Yeah.
I really like Julia Carty. Like, so our Diamond Islands, like, definitely like plug into any call that Julia Carty is doing. Get any new ambassador on a Helen Ford. You know, like, I love Ellen Ford. Like, get them on those calls. Like Andrea Mitchell. Like, those people are the ones that, like, you know, like, you don't take these calls seriously. Like, I'll be laying in bed and like half listening, what, you know, like, you're not really paying attention, right? But there'll be things that will like stick with me, like 1 sentences or 2 or 3, you know, like Andrea Mitchell saying like, I want to see you at convention with your team. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I set my goal and then I reached it and I was like, okay, cool. So like, these women are doing their job by inspiring us to keep going. That's what they're supposed to do, and they do a great job. So we are part of the best team on Plexus, period. Like, I can't tell you how grateful I am for our uplines and what we're doing, and my sideline sisters and everyone that I've met. But that umbrella is pretty big, and once you can kind of keep your focus, it's blinders. Like, I really like Jimmy Iovine. It's outside Plexus people. I follow doctors that believe in gut health on Facebook. I read gut health books. I Google gut health and blah, 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 blah. So like, I really like Rachel. Is it Nagel? Nagel. So her videos are really informative. Understanding the 4 colors, personalities is really important because that's going to teach you to be patient with certain people or understand how to deal with personalities. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Not cool. Not cool.
You know, like, so, but like your needy ambassadors, the ones that ask a lot of questions, the ones that, you know, like are skeptical, that, you know, like, yes, you like keep feeding them, like keep giving them information. Send them 5 links, and if they watch 2 of them, they watch 2 of them. Like, something will stick. Something will stick. And if it doesn't, then
Horse to water.
Yeah, on to the next one. So Jimmy Iovine, I mean, like, he was the producer for Dr. Dre and Eminem, but like when you watch their story on HBO on the Defiant Ones, like it really is like this, blinders up. Like, you cannot
Go.
I mean, like, it's cool.
Okay, wrap up.
Bye.
2 minutes
Okay.
left.
Bye. Okay, anything? Bueller? Hi, Carrie.
Bueller. All right, anybody, any other questions? I am so proud of y'all. Y'all rocked it.
Yes. One